It's wonderful to see you all again, and if you're wondering how can I see you, it's because I have access to all your webcams. I didn't think we'd get to this point this early on in the show, but today we're going to be making macarons. It's a hard thing to make, and I've never made them before. I don't know if I've ever even had a good one. I'm going to try to make them here, and hopefully they're good. And some may say they don't have to be perfect, but I need them to be perfect. And I'm gonna die at the end of the episode if the macarons aren't perfectly domed at the top, as you can see right here. And we're just gonna get to it today. So I've learned a lot from the last episode. And one of the big things that I can take from my experience in learning how to cook is to mise en place everything. And for this episode, I'd like to introduce a new member to the Getting Baked family after we had a fallen brother last episode. A new scale, a brand new glass top scale. If you have any name suggestions for this new family member of Getting Baked, please put them in the comments below. Powdered sugar, almond flour, superfine sugar, and we're gonna make 3 flavors of macarons: chocolate, raspberry, and then we're gonna do a vanilla one, but the filling, I'm gonna take a left turn here and kind of be inspired by my surroundings here in Miami and do a dulce de leche flavored macaron. So this makes everything so much easier to kind of put together. I forgot, you gotta whip egg whites, and there's cream of tartar. I don't know what that does. I don't know what cream of tartar does, but I hope it does something good for this whole thing. This recipe is not a definite one. Maybe that might be bad, that I'm not using a definite recipe, but I'm taking cues from a few different very popular online chefs that you might know. Claire Saffitz, Joshua Weissman, and there's a third person there, but I forgot. They had really good videos on how to do this, and hopefully their advice is good enough and nothing blows up in the kitchen here. I'm gonna be making 30 macarons today, 10 of each flavor. Now, I don't remember the last time I separated egg and egg white. It might be a disaster, but it might be good. We'll see. See if I remember how to do this. Crack it, and then separate. Oh, now it's getting on my hand. It didn't crack, so okay. So the yolk stayed whole. The yolk stayed whole. Oh my god, I almost had a heart attack. We're gonna need an egg, a beater. Once again, please, anyone wants to give me a stand mixer, anyone wants to buy me one. I know I only have about 20 something subscribers at this point, but one of you people, please buy me a stand mixer. KitchenAid, matte black stand mixer, 5 quart, no, more than the 7 quart. If you're gonna be generous, buy the 7 quart. It will help so much. So in lieu of a $350 stand mixer, we're gonna use Old Reliable here. Okay, I have to add a little cream of tartar in here. Now we have to beat these two before stiff peaks. As I get to stiff peaks, I have to add the sugar into it a little bit at a time. So, a little sugar. You know you have good meringue and stiff peaks when you can do this very efficiently. And I think that worked. All right, so the next step, we need to do the dry ingredients. So we have this powdered sugar here, and we have almond flour here. Now, as you can see, they're kind of clumpy. And to get like super smooth domes on the top of macarons, that is not good. So I got a sifter. So now we just need to sift these into kind of a fine thing that you see I have it on top of this parchment here, just so it can actually go somewhere. That actually looks kind of pretty. The closest thing we can get to snow out here in Miami. Well, the weather kind of snow. Now we're gonna do the confectioner sugar. Call me Tony Montana. Am I right? Okay, so we're gonna put this into there, whisk, and incorporate both of those ingredients together into one kind of super powder, if you will. Okay, so now we have to incorporate the egg whites into this mixture here. I'm very scared of this right now because this is kind of the make or break moment of this dish. Do some folding. It's kind of dry right now, but now we're gonna add another addition. It looks like a bread dough, and that somewhat concerns me. Okay, so from what I've gathered, it's supposed to drizzle down into a figure-8 thing, and that's is not doing that. As I'm kind of, I guess, deflating this batter here, it's starting to look more like I want it to. When I do it like this, it does a figure-8 thing. So I'm going to take that as good. I need to somehow separate this mixture right here into 3 so I can separate the flavors for the cookie part of it. I'm gonna just kind of eyeball and kind of get even weights onto everything, and then we have kind of the final batter for the cookies. It doesn't necessarily matter that I get 10 for each one. You know, I just want them to turn out good. That's kind of the main thing here. One of these needs to stay as vanilla. That's the dulce de leche one. So I'm gonna move this over to the side and focus on these two guys right here. Remember, guys, it's not about the size of the tools you have, it's about how you use it. You know, I'm gonna be honest, as long as I'm gonna give myself a goal of 10 perfect macarons. Just 10, that's all I need. And I'm gonna incorporate these powders into here, and they should, if I did this right, change color. Now I hope they don't make them too thick, you know, and ruin the integrity of the batter. I hope this incorporates well too. I was told that it doesn't really take on the color too much. Maybe it does. Regardless though, I want my red 40. We have completed our 3 flavors here. Now is for the moment of truth, where we have to pipe the batters onto a baking tray and kind of see them flatten out and get that macaron shape. Let's do this. I'm learning every episode. I have prepped and lined these 2 pans with parchment so we can put our beautiful macaron shells on top of them. I gotta do the good old method, just putting them in plastic bags and cutting the tip off. I know a trick. So you get a cup here and you put it in like this, and then you fold it over so you don't have to hold it with your hands. So let's put that in here. It's working. It has a, it's not, well, I lied. I was going to say it's not separating as I put it out, but it's doing all right. It has a consistency that I expect. So this feels much thicker than the other one. So we got the raspberry and the vanilla right here. And the chocolate. This feels the thickest out of all of them, and once again, that is somewhat concerning, but I'm not gonna stress at this point. I'm already too far in it now. We have all 3 flavors right here that are ready to be piped, not that kind of pipe, onto the baking tray. So I need to have 30 in each one. So if I can do some math here. Yeah, 4. No wonder you use a piping bag for this. They are not exactly circular. I'm gonna do a little bit of shit. Kind of get that air out. They're still not circular, and some are bigger than others. I saw Claire do this, so I'm gonna do this too. I wouldn't say that's too bad. Those are as perfect as I could possibly get them. Alright, so, okay. 1. And they don't look perfect either. Those don't look that great either, but I'm gonna take what I can get at this point. Here we go, guys. The chocolate one. So, once again, hoping to get 20. Let's do this. I feel like I made these slightly too small. I'm just adding a little more to each one. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. I'd say I give this, out of all of them, second place. I'm gonna let these do its thing, and I will see you all in an hour. It's been an hour, and from touching the tops of these, the tops have dried off. So now we just gotta throw them in the oven for about 13 minutes. And I'm gonna keep a close eye on them. I'm going to make the fillings as we put these in. I have everything prepped for the fillings here. So we have the dulce de leche right there, the raspberry, which I had to sip the seeds out, and then the chocolate. Maybe I'm doing this completely wrong, but because I wanted to thicken it up and then kind of make sort of a lighter buttercream, I'm gonna add stream the heavy whipping cream and whip that into the butter and the sugar, and then we're gonna incorporate all the flavors into it afterwards. Godspeed. And then whip it up. Okay, that's not good. There are pieces of butter that did not incorporate into the cream. See if I can just kind of mash it into there. The butter and the whipped cream idea was not good. I did not fully incorporate, which is bad. But maybe something good can come out of it. I gotta take the macarons out, the cookie part at least. Gotta take them out, and let's see how these boys turn out. Okay, so first up, we got the raspberry, and they all cracked. Next up, we have the chocolate ones, which also all cracked. My beautiful golden child. He's a little misshapen. He's a little disfigured, but I love him nonetheless. There's very visible butter pieces all throughout, which is not good, but it's not the worst thing that could happen. I think that looks pretty damn good. The chocolate ganache came out not too bad. And there's no pieces of butter in there that I can detect. I'm gonna put the dulce de leche next. And I'm gonna see if some kind of dulce de leche ganache thing forms. I'm gonna do some troubleshooting here because I'm not happy about those lumps. We're gonna pull out my beloved the strainer so we can kind of press this through and get all the lumps out. There's still kind of lumps, but what else can I do? Now let's God, I hope this raspberry works out. So, and this already, I had to strain the seeds out of this. I could not find seedless raspberry jam at the store, and so kind of incorporate that. This looks not very appetizing. I'm gonna be so fucking real. I'm so fucking stupid for doing the butter thing. I don't know why I decided to go off recipe or be like, oh yeah, I know this shit. I don't know this shit. That's the whole point of the show. I don't know how to do any of this. The acidity from the raspberry is doing something not very appealing to the cream. I made raspberry butter. This looks gross. This looks really gross. This is terrible. Look at that. This is absolutely terrible. I guess there just won't be raspberry ones. Maybe, actually. If I have enough of the chocolate ganache left, I can put that in the raspberry cookie. Raspberry and chocolate goes together. I'm gonna just destroy this abomination right here and throw it in the garbage. I never want to see something like this again. It's fine. I'm not even gonna think about it. I'm gonna have nightmares about this. I put too much of the flavoring, the cocoa powder and the raspberry powder respectively in that batter, and that made it crack on the top. With that being said, I think it's assembly time. Now we're gonna fill these. I have the chocolate ganache, so let's start with the chocolate. And if there's enough left over, we'll fill the raspberry one. I made the hole here too big, but nothing wrong with a big hole. They're coming together somewhat okay, I think. With the format of the show, we all kind of expected things to end up this way at one point or another. You can see I'm just going through it right now. I want it to be over. It's funny that the filling is kind of the part that ended up the worst. Probably because it's something I didn't decide to use a recipe for, my dumbass. Okay, so there's enough to put in the raspberry. I think more than enough. I never want to see raspberry in my house again. If you offer me a raspberry, you're never seeing your family again. This looks like something alright. Something that maybe a lot of people don't want to ingest. I think just because of how good the cookie part is, by default, these are the best looking macarons I've made so far. Jesus fucking Christ. So they're all falling apart as I try to pick them up from the pan. I'm gonna leave these all in the fridge to rest for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna clean up this mess I've created. I would like to introduce guest number 2 of Getting Baked. My very good and close friend, Carlos, aka Paprika, aka... Do you have any other AKAs?
No, I don't think I have any of these.
Those are the 2. So you've seen me go through it today. haven't you?
You're the saddest little dude over there.
I have been beat down by these macarons today.
They broke you.
Yes, but I hope they don't break you. So, as you've seen me create today, we have chocolate raspberry, not by choice, the dulce de leche here, and then the vanilla chocolate right here.
I'm so curious about the raspberry since it was such
Yeah, so let's try one of these little
these
ones
raspberries.
first. Yeah, I'll try this. Okay.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for getting baked with me today, Carlos. They're chewier than I expected them to be.
It has a nice texture, actually.
The texture is good. They're chewy though. I didn't expect them. Like, you kind of gotta
The raspberry really comes out with this one.
much more than I thought. Now, do you want to split a chocolate one maybe, or the other ones?
Yeah,
since they're kind of bigger.
Okay. I mean, we can just put like the.
The dulce de leche. You
Yeah,
want
sure.
to? Okay, let's do the tiny one. Now, the filling on the dulce de leche was way too loose. See, it's kind of coming out the sides there. So I'll try to split this in half without, and that's not going right at all. So I want to take this half. You know what?
That one works.
That works. And you know why? Because as much as I can see the butter, I think the texture of the cookie kind of hides it. As you're having it all together, it doesn't come through that much.
It forms in the mouth.
Right? Yeah, it kind of all comes together as one. Now, I guess let's finish off with the chocolate one.
It's like a Krabby Patty right
Yeah,
there.
right?
Yeah, Krabby Patty.
Alright. The most opposite thing of pretty patties. These were like, what happened with the pretty patties? They turned your tongue?
Yeah, it turned it turned people's color. I think like.
It turns people into different colors. This will just, I think, kill you. I'm sorry. So.
These are also chewier than I thought.
Same.
They're
But I
pretty
think,
good,
you know what these are? These are like brownies.
though. Oh my god, you're right. Yeah.
When you have that crackly texture on the top, and then that soft, the cream in the middle, and then the underbake in the middle of the macaron, the cookie, it ends up just tasting like a brownie.
I mean, chocolate's chocolate, I guess.
Chocolate's chocolate. So what's your final verdict on these macarons?
I can taste the blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
And but they're not bad. They're not bad.
They're not bad.
They're pretty good.
I'll take not bad. I'll take pretty good.
Like taste wise, like you know, you can talk about presentation all day, but taste wise, it's pretty solid.
All right. Well, thank you for coming today. It was wonderful having you.
Of course,
For
it was
episode 2.
wonderful getting baked with you.
Yes, it was wonderful getting baked with you too. And I hope to see you again very, very soon.
Alrighty.
All right. I'm tired. This was tiring. I started today at 10:30, and it is currently almost 5:30. 7 hours of my life taken away by these, frankly, mediocre cookies. And maybe that's what this show is all about. Please like and subscribe. So I can get these 7 hours of my life back somehow through your likes and subscribes. Comment below what I could have tried differently this time, or I could have done better. And I will see you on the next episode of Getting Baked. Goodbye. I love you. Good night.